What's good, YouTube? It's me, Coach 7 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boston community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about what should be Coach Dooley's strategy or game plan from an offensive standpoint this coming season at Southern. Now, I know many people are going to be like, Coach, it's way too early to start talking about what strategy or what approach should Coach Dooley have from an offensive standpoint this coming year. If things continue the way they seem to be, it seems as if more than likely Harold Blood is going to be the starter at Southern. Now, things could change. Noah Biden could become the starter. Dylan Marotra, Zay Tessett, Jalen Woods, Chris Tucker. Any of those guys could become the starting quarterback, but more than likely it's going to be Harold Blood. He's been there the longest. He has 2 years of eligibility left. Now, I know certain people are like, well, Noah Biden, he had some starts at Grambling. I understand that, but, Harold Blood, he did get some run last year. He played last year against Florida Memorial. In addition to that, he probably had the best performance against Virginia Lynchburg for homecoming. Now, if you look at those two teams, in terms of the quality opposition, it's not real good. Now, when he actually got to get some run against aggressive, dominant defense in Jackson State, he didn't fare well. And like I said, he reminds me a lot of what John Lampley was a few years ago at Southern from a quarterback standpoint. Lampley was a pure pocket passer, but he wasn't that athletic. And when teams loaded up the box and they started blitzing, he just couldn't get out the way. And that's the vibes Harold Blood gave me when they played against Jackson State in the SWAC championship game. So, from an offensive perspective, if I was Coach Dooley, my game plan would be, well, first and foremost, Southern has had some great offensive lines over the years. From a SWAC perspective, I mean, even when they played against the University of Georgia, I know Lenard Tillery, he the all-time leading rusher. He was a beast when he was at Southern. But it wasn't just him. It's just the fact that the offensive line was so good. I mean, they was able to, pretty much run the ball against that Georgia defense. And, I mean, that defense had Leonard Floyd on it. So that's how good Southern offensive line was that year. Even though they didn't win the SWAC championship, I mean, they had a real good offensive line. And Southern has had a lot of good offensive lines over the years. So if Southern's offensive line could get back to that caliber and be that nasty and be that aggressive, I think that's going to kind of set the table for everything. Because from an offensive standpoint, they have a stable of backs, starting off with Gerard Sims. You have Carl Ligon, you have Kendrick Grimes. So, I mean, they have some good running backs that can catch the ball out the backfield in addition to run the ball between the tackles. For the most part, all the Southern University's running backs are like smallish third down type backs for the exception of Gerard Sims. So from an offense standpoint, in terms of the running game, I would lean probably heavily on him more than any other back. And I would use all those other running backs, like the Kendrick Grimes, the C.J. Russells. I would use all of those guys to kind of complement Gerard Sims. Now, from a receiver standpoint, Southern is loaded. I mean, it's probably the deepest and the best wide receiving core probably since they won the SWAC championship in 2013 when they had Lee Dawes and they had Willie Quinn and Mike Jones. This wide receiver core probably is the best wide receiving core Southern has had since then. So I don't think Harold Blood is going to need to, if he's a starter, or whoever the starting quarterback is, I don't think he's going to need to make a ridiculous amount of plays. I think more than anything, he's going to have to be a good decision maker. He's going to have to take care of the ball, not turn the ball over. And Southern is going to have to minimize their penalties from an offensive standpoint. So I think that's going to be the thing. Just lean on the running game. And from a passing standpoint, get the ball to all of these weapons that you have out on the perimeter, the August Petries, the Chandler Whitfields, the George Quells, and we're not even talking about people like Jalen Howard, who, from what I understand, he hasn't made it yet from PV. But even with that being said, I mean, they have a ridiculous amount of talent, and they're loaded from a wide receiver standpoint. So that would be my thing. Have a quick passing game. Hal Blood is going to need to make, whoever the quarterback is, they're going to need to make good choices and good decisions, not turn the ball over, and lean heavily on the running game and use the passing game to complement the running game, or the running game to complement the passing game. But more than anything, I think it would be run first if it was me, and use the passing game to complement the running game. So, I mean, that would be my strategy and be my approach. Things can change. Like I said, Michael Bowens II, he went to the University of Charlotte. Clifton McDowell, he decommitted. He's going to head in another direction. So I think Southern has everything they need to be successful. They have a loaded running back group. They have a lot of depth at the wide receiver position. I mean, they could go 10 deep at wide receiver. I mean, they have a lot of real good receivers. So from an offensive standpoint, they could be an explosive team. And more than anything, over the years, the teams that have won SWAC championships at Southern is the teams that had a passing quarterback that can run. Whether we're talking about an Eric Randall, whether we're talking about a Sam George, a Dre Joseph, even though he didn't win the SWAC championship, Bryant Lee, Austin Howard. All the Southern success, even Terrence Levy, all the Southern success was when they had a passing quarterback that can run. Eric Randall, he probably, is better than most quarterbacks Southern has had. He could pass the ball and he could take off and run if necessary. Last year you look at Southern, even though Bashawn McCray was the starting quarterback, Vanderbilt McDaniel gave them the best chance to win because he was a far better passer than McCray, but he could also take off and run. So that's it for this particular video. I think that should be their strategy going into the 2023 season. But that's it for this video. If you found any value in this video, like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. Any ideas for future videos, just put in the comment section. Also, I'd like to shout out my brother Jerry 11 Green. We're going to be back on our grind this weekend. So y'all also subscribe to his channel. Catch my podcast. We didn't have it this past week. Bayou Sports Talk, where we're going to talk about a variety of different sports topics. What's the state of what's going on in terms of big boxing matches. We also going to talk about the NBA playoffs, so on and so forth. Also, major shout out to the SWAC Talk podcast and to all my SWAC content creators. Much success to all of y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. I'm going to have another video dropping shortly, so check out for that. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed and phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings.